Everybody, hope you all having a good week. So yesterday's price action, we did have a green candle here. It did kind of sell off a little bit, but some of the alts went up quite a bit, which was somewhat expected. The weekly close, as I talked about in the video yesterday, this is a pretty strong bullish candle. So we knew that we were probably going to have some price action to the upside. Now we've got some problems that we're going to come up to. So as long as we clear this area right here about 17.8, we're going to run into resistance at this 3-day moving average and then this trend line. So this is what I'm kind of worried about next once we get to that level. Now, I was watching a guy that does TA and he uses some indicators that are, he calls it the jewel, but he's been doing this for a long time. He was a Wall Street cheat sheet, or Wall Street, someone that worked on Wall Street, and I've been following him for a while. But there's some indicator he has that's called a jewel, and it shows that it's about 73% accurate every time it crosses, this specific line, that Bitcoin goes up 20% or so. So 73% chance that it does actually go up from when that happens, which I think was at 1700, that it's going to go up 20%. So if that plays out, we would actually break out of this pattern and we would close above this 3-day moving average. So just remember that whenever we're in the bottom, it's very uncommon that we just go straight to the upside. It did happen in after the last bear market, but a lot of these moving averages, they're all pointing down. So they all need to start curving back up. So if we had some big move up, it would be best if we could just come back down and consolidate and create some kind of rounding bottom. Like we do not want to just, we do not want to just go straight up, because then you have no idea. Like for example, over here, we went straight up and then we did something crazy down the line. And I'd rather just have some slow consolidation for a while. This would have been nice to take profits, but it would have been very, very difficult to rebuy back down here. I probably would have rebought back at like 8,000 whenever we closed back above this moving average. So it would be really best to actually just break out of here and kind of just form some kind of slow bottom here where you can accumulate a little bit more for the next cycle to the upside. Now, nobody can predict what's going to happen at this point, but he's saying about 20%. So that gives us, closing above this 3-day moving average, which would be perfect. And then we would kind of be out of the troubling areas. So for example, once we use this as support, it's just very, very reliable based on past performance, at least the majority of the time. So we've used it as support right here. We went up. Once it became resistance, it was a very big problem. And I mentioned that whenever we were at this point over here, that once we got rejected from this, I said that was a very huge, huge problem. And it just proves that it's not. It's not good once we close below it. So even right here, we closed below it and we had a large drop. But the majority of the times when we close above it, at least I'd say 2 candles. So for example, if you waited for confirmation for this next candle here, you would have missed out on this huge, 30% candle almost. So that's really what I'm focused on. Once we get above there, we should be good. At least the odds of staying above it are higher. But again, things could change. So, but that is what I'm looking for. If we were to break down for whatever reason, which the indicators do not look like they're going to break down right now. You've got support like somewhere around 13.5, where this little wick is here, all the way down to this little spot right here. Now that would break us out of the pattern to the downside. So I don't really know if that's going to really happen. There is a way that we get rejected from here. we go up and we get rejected from here, and then we have another drop down to about 13 to this support level. But based on, you know, that jewel indicator, it does seem like we're going to go up, and then the indicators as well, the indicators that I'm looking at. So we'll see. You know, we've got the 3-day. I think this actually just closed. So you've got a cross to the upside. MACD still pointing to the upside. Daily, the only concern I have is the daily's up here. However, we are about to pass through the zero line. And every time we pass through the zero line, well, at least normally whenever we pass through there, we have some kind of move to the upside. So for example, we passed through it right here just for a little bit and we moved up. Passed right here, we moved up a little bit. And then whenever we pass to the downside, it's a problem. So that part looks good. Weekly, went over this yesterday, but it does look really good. So we've got this bullish divergence, and this could play out too. So a lot of times when you get a top or a bottom, you see bullish divergence, or bullish divergence on a bottom, and then bearish divergence whenever it's at a top. So that is looking like it could play out. We could retouch it again and still fall down here. But this is a pretty strong signal as long as it plays out that the bottom is in, and we'll move up. Looking at the 2-week, this is going to close next Sunday. And the 2-week is, as long as we get green price action a little bit higher than where we are now, by next Sunday, this is going to cross. And every time that we've done that before, it's always been a strong signal. There's only been one fake out. I think it was right here throughout the whole entire history of Bitcoin. So that's a very strong signal. We can look at, you know, Crypto Crew University pointed something out about the 12-week moving average, or 12 weeks. Oh, 12 days, sorry. And this is already crossed. So if we go back in history on the MACD and the 12-day, there's been like one fake out or a couple fake outs, but we actually had a cross here. And then every other time we've had a cross, we've actually bottomed out. And it's been a really, really strong move to the upside. So that is a potential that that is a good sign to be able to see that. I think he made a good point because it's one of the most accurate ones that you can find, besides the 2-week, but it's just a little bit shorter time frame, but it's still just as accurate as the 2-week. So I would, so that's a good sign. Other than that, you know, ADA did a pretty big move today. You know, this volume is starting to pick up. You can't really, it's kind of hard to see that volume candle, but you are starting to see volume actually pick up just a little bit here. I'd like to see more volume coming in, but it looks like it's going to pass through the zero line here. So this could get out of this channel. If we can get out of this channel, it would be a really, really strong sign that we're going to go on a decent run. There were some other coins that that have popped, and I'll show you some of those as well. But we need to still get out of this channel. You know, we've been in this channel since August of last 2021. So a little over a year. And now we're reapproaching the top of the channel. So we can look at the indicators and check. So the 3-day has crossed to the upside. The weekly has been crossed for a while, but it's almost pointing straight up. So, and then also we did have a bullish engulfing candle that completely engulfed two of these. So the odds of us having a the next week would be bullish is there. So ADA might actually break out of this channel finally. That'd be really nice because I'm tired of watching my money go down on ADA. Gala. So Gala had a huge move. Now I bought a little bit of Gala and I wanted to buy some more. Did not buy any. But a lot of these coins that were in, or some of them, they're going to knock out a lot of weeks really, really quick. I think if you would have added to your position here, you'd have been up like 200% in about 2 weeks. Now it's difficult to catch the bottom on something like this, but I think I did buy some maybe where we're at now in price action. So I'm just going to wait. If we get a pullback, a lot of these coins we can do pullbacks kind of like we did on SHIB a long time ago. It's just very difficult whenever you don't really know the direction of Bitcoin. And then altcoins, whenever they're at the bottom, they'll make a low and then they'll make a new low whenever Bitcoin's bottomed, and then they might make a new low after Bitcoin's going up. So it's just DCAing down, and then eventually you'll get some kind of pump that puts you in profit. So you're always going to be down on your position for a little while. But Gala, I think Gala is going to do really well. Like I said before, it's like the Steam for gaming, except blockchain gaming. So Steam is what people that play video games use. It's just kind of like an app store for video games. And then Gala is very similar to that. Steam is the only, well, at least the most popular. I don't think there's another one, but there might be. It's the most popular one to buy PC games instead of buying CDs. Like nobody buys CDs anymore, or very few people do. And that's where you get your CD video or your video games. Now Gala is just doing that with blockchain gaming, and blockchain games are doing okay right now. They're actually looking to improve. A lot of them are actually looking a lot better. Like if you looked at the video I did on Theta's game called I think Colossus or something like that, it's actually it looks pretty good. Like it looks not exactly like Xbox games, but it's pretty close. So over time, there's going to be more developers, more businesses that come out that use blockchain gaming. They're going to use protocols like Theta or whatever. And those are, I think that's the new revolution of gaming. I think that's where a lot of people are going to go, the direction that a lot of companies will go. That way you can incorporate NFTs or whatever you want to incorporate into the video game. And it should be maybe even like cross gaming, like sharing weapons and stuff like that through one game to another, which you can't do that right now. But if you're on a blockchain and you're on Theta blockchain, you'd probably be able to do something like that, or sharing clothes between game and game. So all of that's really interesting how things can play out. So Gala, I still think, I bought here before, so I think still accumulating Gala is fine. I don't, is there a possibility we could make a new low? Yeah, of course, there's always a possibility that we can do that, but we can do something like this. This is pretty strong resistance here. So if this gets rejected from here, you're probably going to see this pull back somewhere around 50% of where it's at now. And then maybe we actually do some kind of rounding bottom here. And then this is where I would add extra Gala somewhere around here. I'd probably throw a fib on there and then add some Gala. The only problem with Gala is that it went up so high. Like there's a lot more data somewhere down here. but it's just kind of been dwindling down quite a bit. So I think it could be that this could be the low here. There's no point to really look. I mean, the indicators on Gala. I mean, so this is kind of what happens whenever it passes through the zero line. So a lot of these coins, whenever they get going, they pass through the zero line and then boom, they have a huge move to the upside. A lot of people are out of the market right now. They're not paying attention. I can tell by just the views of the videos, and then there's been people that have left the group, and that's typically what happens. Bear markets are brutal, and a lot of people just want to join whenever the bull market's in full force. But that's not where you make all your money. Just staying in the market and then accumulating whenever everybody else thinks it's dead, especially after FTX collapsed. It's just kind of a natural thing that happens. Companies die and then somebody goes to jail that made a whole bunch of money, and then everybody in the world thinks crypto is a scam, and then that's just how the market cycle flushes things out, and that's just how things work. Whenever it comes to the psychology of humans, they're already down on their money, so they're mad about that, they're depressed about that, and then all of a sudden an exchange goes down, and then they're already believing that it's a scam, and then that happens, and then they really think it's a scam and they check out. They just say, screw it, I'll leave my money in there, or I'm going to sell it, and then I'm going to move on and do something else, distract myself in something else. So as long as you can push through that and just continue to force yourself to pay attention, that's how you're going to separate yourself from all those other people. Litecoin, I went over this yesterday. But Litecoin, so it's good that we closed here, and this I would expect this to actually continue up quite a bit. I mean, the only real resistance here is $100, and then if you pass that, maybe we get to $100 in a couple months or so. We're at some resistance here, but this might actually play out to where this just retest this little area of support, and then we bounce from here. I mean, the 3-day still looks really strong. You've got a recross on the MACD also. It does have a little bit of divergence on there, bearish divergence, but still looks like it's got some room on the 3-day. And then also the 1 week is crossed, and then we're getting close to passing the zero line on Litecoin. So I think, before the halving, like for example, the halving on Litecoin was, I believe, in July, somewhere in July. You passed through the zero line in April. So you had about 3 months of price action to the upside. And we're close to the zero line, but we're not there yet. So once we pass through there, I would expect this I think it's going to break out of this channel for the halving. Each halving, I think, was like 500% from the low. One was 550, and then one was like 600%. So if we went up 550 here to 600, that would almost bring it to $300. 550 would bring this to about 265. And then if we just went up 500, that's 250. So we'll count the waves whenever we get up there, but I would like to pull off some of the coins that I bought around, I think, $60 and then $40. and we'll kind of go from there. Probably just re-add to Litecoin down the line or some other cryptocurrency. See if there's anything else that we can take a look at.
Have you been buying anything? I haven't seen you post anything about buying anything lately.
No,
I don't think you have. I'm just curious.
I haven't bought anything. I was waiting until I really wanted to buy some ICP, and I might actually buy some ICP in the next couple of days. But I really
It's
just
funny.
kind of
I still get updates on ICP, and it's like negative 20% down, and it's like it's bouncing from like $3 to $5.
yeah. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but we can take a look at it. Yeah, so ICP has pretty much gotten wrecked. However, I've pointed this out the past couple of days, or the past couple of videos, that we finally did close outside of this channel, this weekly channel, which is great. This is a channel, a bullish channel. This is bullish. This is not bearish. Since 2021 September, and we've just completely just got rid of all the sellers. There's not a whole bunch of volume that's coming in, but this is a pretty strong sign that it's a pretty strong sign that we've bottomed here, or at least we're starting to make headway on ICP. Now, what we could do here, we just need to make a new high. So we need to close above here, and then we make a higher high and then a higher low. And then once that happens, then this should start taking off.
So you're thinking like a small buy?
I mean, I personally, I'd buy I was going to buy like a medium buy just to DCA a little bit down. Okay. Maybe even a large buy, because it's this level on ICP. So I've seen this before, but if you go to CoinMarketCap, so you can have support whenever it comes to charting, and then you can have support whenever it comes to price. So, or market cap. So we can look at market cap. So I've seen some coins hit $1 billion in market cap, or just $1 billion in market cap. So if you look here, it shows 1.2 billion. So this literally bottomed at, or at least it hit 1 billion in market cap. I've seen that before, how something bottomed out at like maybe it was 10 billion in market cap or 1 billion. I can't remember the price, but that is another thing that you can pay attention to. So hopefully that is the low. I mean, this thing has went from, I think it was $80 billion or something like that. Well, I guess this one just shows. Why is it doing that? There it is. Well, that's not helpful. Well, it's dropped from, it looks like 30 billion. I thought it was like 80 billion, but no, this shows. So if you look on the left, it's about 50 to 60 billion. And that was this point in price, somewhere within this range. But anyway, it hit 1 billion exactly, and then it bounced from there. So that could be the low. We'll see. It does depend on what BTC does, and something crazy could happen to where we get pushed really high, and then all of a sudden we just get really volatile, scare the last people out of the market to where they're just like, I'm done. I don't care if it even makes me any money. I don't want to go through this anymore. And that's typically, the worst time, but it's the best time to buy. The scariest time, but it's the best time to buy. So if you bought at $4, for it to get to $80, that's a 20x from where we're at now. So that's 2000% from where we're at now. And it could go higher. It just kind of depends on how the market reacts to ICP once it starts actually running. They've been building, and things look pretty good. So from what they're doing, I'm not a super techie guy, but they're still building. It was super hyped up. The good thing about when something's hyped up and then it just kind of dies over, a lot of people forget about it, and then a lot of wealthy people like to accumulate those things. Do you want me to, is there something else you want me to look at, Micah?
Sorry, you caught me in between sets. I was just saying I was in the middle of a set. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else. I mean, is there any other alts you're eyeballing right now?
Anything what?
Are there any other altcoins you're eyeballing right now?
Give me a second, let me see. Gala was just the only other one I was really looking at, but let me see some of the coins here. I guess we can take a look at DigiByte. The only thing, so I do think DigiByte's going to come back. Well, we should probably actually look at a couple of these coins. So yeah, let's take a look at DigiByte. We'll look at DigiByte XLM, and then well, let's see. Let's go to DigiByte first. The only thing I don't really like about DigiByte, and why I kind of stopped buying it for a little while, is because this last cycle here, this area down here, it just made this very, very large drop. Like, Bitcoin bottomed here, and then its secondary bottom was here on Bitcoin, and this dropped like a ridiculous amount from that low, like 80% from that low. So I'd like DigiByte to at least get back above, probably even back above this moving average on the weekly, but getting back above this trend line would be really important. I just don't like how we just sold off here. Good thing about DigiByte, that the volume is still declining. So I do think this is going to come back alive, and it's going to, probably do a substantial run from here. So if you don't own DigiByte, and you're, for example, if you bought right here, that was like 2,800%. So I think we'd probably see that again. I mean, all this volume, nothing's really leaving the market. There's not like huge volume candles, red volume candles coming in, and it's just prices declining, and then the volume's declining here. So Digibyte is one that still would be good to accumulate right now. Digibyte's very similar to like LTC and Bitcoin. It's decentralized, one of the main ones that's decentralized, so I think it would do well over time. The next one, Theta is still, and it's still something that I am wanting to add more to. It's also sitting on major support here. And crypto always bottoms at least the majority of the time, it always bottoms at some kind of cluster of support. So this is a really good range from where it's at right now. Anything else would come back down to about down here, about 30 cents, which is pretty low from where we're at now. But I think buying large orders of Theta would be still good right now. I mean, 70, 80 cents on Theta is pretty good. I'd really like to get back above this dollar mark though. That would be nice. Theta crossed through the 2 week on here, but since that's happened, it's gone down. It's not super reliable whenever Bitcoin's doing what it's doing, but this one was the first one that actually crossed through the 2 week. So it was one of the first coins to actually top back here. And it should be, I would think it would be one of the first coins to actually bottom, at least since this did top over here. But you've also got declining volume here. So eventually you're going to get some big green candles that come in volume and then break out of this bull flag here. We can take, I don't know, I don't think I should. This just seems like that's going to be way too high. Yeah, that just seems like that's going to be way too high. So normally on a bull flag, what you want to do is take the entire pole from the bottom to the top to take your first target, and then wherever it breaks out, you want to put that pole right here. We can try it right here and see if that's more realistic. I still would think, well, yeah, I mean, Theta could go to 28, 28 bucks, wherever this actually breaks out. And then that's a 22,000% gain at its old high. This might just barely make a new high, kind of like what Digibyte did. Run up here and just barely tag this old high, come back down and have another bear market. I mean, that would take a while. So you see something like this, and then maybe just barely make a new high. And we just have to count the waves and then look at the indicators whenever that happens. It's gonna be difficult to catch double tops on some of these altcoins. But Theta looks good. And then they have those blockchain games. I think blockchain gaming is probably going to be really popular this next cycle. And then XLM was the other one. XLM kind of looks like it's doing the same thing, declining volume. This trend line is kind of just biased, but I don't know, it's just retouched all these lows. So XLM I think is gonna still perform pretty well. I mean, you're in a bull flag here. I don't like that it didn't make a new high. That's a little worrisome, just like LTC, but there still might be some room for some profit here. And then this could, we'll follow it, but it could end up making new highs down the line. MACD looks good on the weekly too. You've got a bullish engulfing candle too. So once we start making, like once these coins start making, like for example, they make a low and then a high and then a higher low, is whenever it's just going to be a lot more easy to buy dips and then trend, start seeing some kind of trend. I mean, everything currently is just making a low, a new low. So it's just kind of buying on support, buy on support, and then sell whenever the top comes in. But those are the only ones I was really looking at. If I was to buy anything, it would probably be ICP or Theta currently, just because I think ICP is cheap. It's cheap, probably bottomed at 1 billion unless Bitcoin does something crazy. And then Digibyte is cheap just to buy it, just to accumulate a little bit of Digibyte. If you can get 2,500% back to its old high, that's quite a bit of money. And I do think it's not going away. But yeah, that's all the ones I'm really looking at. I just want to start seeing stuff start trending up. Like right now, it's just kind of like guessing when to buy.
Yeah. You buying any more NFTs?
No, no, I still have a whole bunch of those. Let me see. Let's actually take a look at what they're doing here. I haven't really been buying anything ever since me and my ex separated. I've had to pay all the bills for the house, and I just haven't had that much money to put in the market. And because I started that new job too, that was the salary decrease was temporary. It's temporary, but it's still, all of that stuff together is kind of making me have to keep my money pretty tight. So it looks like you can mint some new NFTs on here. Yeah, so they're still doing stuff here. Let's see if anything has been selling. Let's see if there's any Theta Punks. Just one Theta Punk was sold 2 hours ago for 888. So a lot of these are being sold for 888, which is probably pretty cheap for a Theta Punk. So once Theta actually gets some hype around it, a lot of people will probably flow to Open Theta for NFTs, and then the other one, which is what's that called? What's that? I already forgot the name of the other one. Data drop.
OpenSea.
No, it's data drop. Data drop. Yeah, and OpenSea. So OpenSea it's based on Ethereum. So a lot of people were running into problems with the Ethereum gas fees. So I mean, maybe this round of NFTs would be better for like Theta, for example, because it's real cheap to send NFTs. Symbiote Creatives, yeah, Fuse War drop. So this is that video game. Kind of looks like Destiny a little bit. I did a whole video on this. But you can get your, like, here's the game right here. So this actually looks pretty legit. And it's all just on that, Theta crypto. So it looks like Apex Legends a little bit, maybe a little bit like Destiny, but the graphics are pretty good. And you can buy one of your guys if you want. I'm sure a lot of people will probably eventually play this game. If it
Is this like
becomes
a pay to play game, or like is it free to play, or you could buy like in game content, or
that's actually a good question because I haven't played it. I don't really know. I mean, it looks like
okay?
you have to buy a character for $188, which is a lot, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
But if you buy one of these characters early and you might be able to sell it down the line if it's worth more. And maybe they just drop like down the line so you can get all these different characters. And then down the line, if you want to buy new skins or new characters, it would be cheaper or whatever. So it could be, kind of like Fortnite, to where you can buy different skins, except you're actually buying characters, maybe. So it looks like half of them have been bought up. So 4,219. There's 2,100 remaining. But if this game becomes popular, just like what happened with the NFTs and the CryptoPunks, real wealthy people might end up buying this or buying these characters from you. Like Eminem bought, some of those Bored Apes, and Snoop Dogg bought a bunch of them, and I think a whole bunch of people started buying all of those for like ridiculous amounts of money. So could happen. Pineapples here are about 160.
160 each.
Yeah, so those might actually hit a low. Do you have one of these?
No, I didn't get in any pineapples.
Okay. So some of them are being sold for 155.
Do you have one?
I have one, yeah. One of my buddies, he has one that he never opened, so he still has the container.
Yeah, it's worth more, right?
Yeah, it was worth like $1,000 the last time I looked. So
I remember when you showed me how much ETH that Digipunk or whatever they're called.
which one?
It was a which one? What one that I own? Theta Punk. I think it's the Theta Punk.
Yeah.
Is it a Theta Punk? Did we buy with T Fuel?
Oh yeah, yeah. We still have it.
And we were looking on OpenSea how much mine was worth. Like the other person who had like the original. I think it was like,
CryptoPunks.
yeah, but it was insane. Like I think it was like I don't know, 3,000 something ETH or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean those CryptoPunks did really really well. So I would have expected Theta Punks to do really well. Um, but I think Theta topped shortly after we bought them. So just a bad time to buy them. But as long as Theta does well, it's going to push. Theta gets hyped up and it's really being built. They're building games. The protocol, they're doing a whole bunch. They have their own NFT marketplace. Like they're building a whole ecosystem for all of this stuff. So as long as price goes up, I mean, the more the price goes up, the more hype brings into the market, the more people want to learn more about the protocol and the crypto, and they want to learn how to use it, how to buy stuff with it, and it just pushes so many people into the market, and then it pushes a whole bunch of money in the market. So, Theta could even have their own Xboxes one day or phones one day. There's a lot of different stuff that they can do with that. So we just got to be patient and wait, and hopefully Theta is one of the ones that does really well, and it looks really clean. Like all of the stuff that they're doing looks really really clean whenever it comes to, I mean, there's not extreme gas fees. Sony partnered with them. We can even look at the partnerships. I think, let's see. Yeah, so here's the partners. Sony, Decentralized Technologies, blah blah blah. American Idol partnered with them. Google is partnered with them. They're impressed by Theta's achievements in blockchain video and data delivery. We look forward to participating as a validator. And then CAA, which I don't really know what that is, but I thought they had more partners than that. Well, they still got Google and Sony, so those are two important ones. So I mean, seems pretty cheap right now. Chart looks pretty good. So Theta is one that I want to add some more to for sure. All right, Micah, that's all I've got. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, let's go over everything one more time.
What?
I said, yeah, let's go over everything one more time.
One more time. Okay. All right, man. That's all I've got. So I will look at the charts on Thursday. Hopefully things get a little exciting here. The bottom is very, very boring, and it's hard to buy. It's hard to pay attention. A lot of people leave the market and then they rejoin, in wave 3 or 5. But this is where, as long as Bitcoin has another bubble, which it should, we all should make some pretty good money. So, but all right, man, I will talk to you later.
See ya.